Hello everyone, it's Belinda Weaver here, and this is some of the regular training I do on Facebook. Today we are talking about the only 5 emails that you will ever need to write, because we all have faced that situation where we think, gotta write a blog, gotta write a newsletter, gotta write an email to my list, but what do I say? Right? And that usually is just enough to tip us into the maybe I'll write it later. Maybe I'll write it when I'm feeling in the mood. Maybe I'll wait for inspiration. But the fact of the matter is, if you are building an email list, and you absolutely should be, regardless of what your business is, if you're building an email list, then you need to be sending emails regularly. And that might mean every day, like my daily draft. It might mean every week, like my roundup newsletter, or it might be something a little less regular. But here's the other thing. If you are sending emails once a month, that is more than enough time for me to forget who you are, forget that I signed up for your list, forget why I might have signed up for your list and the connection we had in the first place. So the first tip I want to give you today is, firstly, build the list, but secondly, email that list regularly. And if the idea of sending a weekly email makes you a bit sweaty, then maybe stick to an every 2-week schedule. This is a routine and a habit that you absolutely can build up quite easily in your business, especially with the tips that I'm going to give you today. This training session is all about removing the blocks to writing to your email list. Now, there might be mindset challenges. That's not what we're talking today. I'm going to give you lots of ideas so that you never have that I don't know what to say writer's block. So if you are watching this live, say g'day. Let me know that you're here. I'm going live in my free Facebook group for the love of copy, and from my Facebook page, Copyright Matters, and this will live on YouTube forever, so you can access it at any time. So I want to hear from you if you are tuning in live, and if you are watching the replay, hi Tess. If you're watching the replay, drop #replay in the comments. Now, of course, if you are watching live and you have questions as we go, just let me know. This is a great chance for you to get some free coaching from me. Now, I should introduce myself just in case we don't know each other. My name is Belinda Weaver. I am a copy coach. I help aspiring and working copywriters develop their skills and confidence so that they can create successful businesses that fit in with their life. In my free Facebook group, it's open to all word nerds, copywriters and business owners alike, because as a business owner, we're writing a lot of copy. Even if you outsource big projects, you are writing a lot of copy every single day. And I'm hoping that today's training gives you lots of ideas, not only content ideas, but some content creation frameworks that will help you make the process of having ideas, writing the copy, and hitting publish on that a lot easier. And because I've made the effort to do it, I'm going to show you the title, the only 5 emails you will ever need to send. So I want to say hello to Tess again. Hello to Naveed. Thank you for saying hi. So let's get stuck in. The reason I've got this idea of the only 5 emails you'll ever need to send is I'm not suggesting you only have 5 emails, but these are 5 types of emails that can help you create buckets. And the process that I recommend you do is one of mind mapping. And if you haven't heard of mind mapping, it's just basically blatting down on a big piece of paper your ideas and thoughts. And you might draw little lines and bubbles and buckets, however you like to blurb these ideas out. The idea is to get them out on paper and then create a schedule. Oh, I want to say hello to Keith. I want to say hello to Caroline. And I want to say hello to someone who is saying hi. I'm in Melbourne. I'm just going to try and bring it up here so I can see everyone's comments, because with StreamYard, you have to give it permission. Otherwise, I see Facebook ghost face. All right, so let's bring that up. I want to be able to talk to you and say hello and say your names. Is that going to happen? Is Facebook going to let me do it? All right, let's see who this is. Oh, yes, Keith, I am excited about the email month in confident copywriting as well. All right, so let's get on with this show. So I'm going to give you 5 categories of emails and lots of ideas, and then we're going to loop back to this idea of using like a mind mapping framework, right? So the first idea for your email bucket is know, like, trust emails. That is number 1. What I'm talking about here is storytelling, anecdotes, things like that humanize you as a business owner, as a person. Now, that might sound a bit funny where you're like, hey, I'm the only person in my business. Of course, I'm a human. But this is the kind of connection content that you should be publishing to help your clients and customers get to know you, get to like you, and get to trust you, right? So that's the first bucket. And I'm talking about stories about you, what you do, what you like, what your life is like, right? Your favorite things, things you hate, your beliefs, your values, things like that. I'm talking about stories about your work, what you're working on, what you've just wrapped up, what you're excited about getting started on. I'm talking about stories about your customers, which is that slightly more in-depth way of looking at your work, the kind of people you work with. This is also, and we'll be digging into this a bit more, but reviews, case studies, testimonies. But this whole bucket of content for know, like, and trust is sharing some greater context about you, your work, and who you're working with and who you love working with. But this could also be very helpful content, solving problems, busting myths. So this, as I said, helps people get to know you. So that's about you, about your work, about your clients, get to like you. That's where we share some more personal elements of our life and our work, things we love, things we believe in, things that are important to us. These are really important to have strong moments of connection where someone reading can go, we have stuff in common, right? And then you can get them to trust you by talking and identifying with challenges, problems, frustrations, myths that people are buying into, and solving them. So that is a lot of ideas of things you can write about to help people know, like, and trust you. Okay, so that is your first content bucket. Lots of ideas there. Now, I'm talking about emails, but you can take these ideas and do them in social, in blogs, in other parts of your content, video, right? So that's your first one. Know, like, and trust. Stories, anecdotes, connection points. The second bucket of content, emails that you should be writing, are authority builders. So this is when it takes the idea of trusting you a step further. This is when you want to share little wins. You want to share big wins. You want to share behind the scenes glimpses into the work you're doing or the things you are creating, right? So that might be screenshots, it might be little videos. This is a fantastic way to nurture people and get them excited about you releasing something new. But we can also do things like interviews, media spots, awards, right? You've been on podcasts, you're guest blogging, all those kind of things you should absolutely be sharing with your audience and let them celebrate with you. A lot of people feel resistance about this kind of content because they are worried that they're going to be braggy or it's going to put people off. But look at it from this point of view. You are giving people very good reasons to see you as someone who is experienced and knowledgeable and proven. And I want to go back to something I just said. Let people who are following you on social media and who have signed up to your email list, which tells you that they're actually interested in what you've got to say, let them celebrate with you. This is not bragging, this is marketing, and it is creating a shared experience from your celebration. But what you also want to do is always tie it back to what's in it for me. And you can do that with things like programs you've signed up to. I have just signed up to this program and I'm excited to bring all this know-how to my client work, right? So whenever you're sharing awards, interviews, knowledge, wins, big or little, interviews, awards, programs you've joined up. Always think about how that is going to benefit your customers and your clients. And that is how you can weave it in to make it relevant. Because, of course, I only care what's in it for me as your customer. So that's a great way you can flip it around from being about you to being about your audience. Now, just moving things around the desk. As we get towards the end of the week, my desk gets more and more messy. All right, so we've talked about know, like, and trust content, stories, connection points. We've talked about authority builders, right? Big wins, little wins, ways that you can show people that you know your stuff. The third bucket is the rainmakers, the cash creators. This is when you're actually promoting stuff. Now, some of it could be free stuff, promoting lead magnets, promoting low ticket offers. It could be promoting products that you sell. It could be promoting your services, right? You are actually allowed to promote your stuff in your emails. And you might do something like a regular call to action where you offer some value, you share a story, and you have a regular call to action that promotes your product. What you might also do is have a couple of emails that lead people up to the idea of a sell. Now, there's a common marketing, it's the Pareto percentage. I think that's right. I hope that's right. 80-20, where you do 80% value, 20% sales. But I'd never want you to pull back from the idea of making an offer. And when someone joins your email list, you should actually make an offer pretty soon, because that is the most interested and the most engaged they're going to be. And as soon as they make one sale from you, they're more than likely going to make more sales from you. So you should absolutely have regular content in your email schedule that promotes what you do. Don't just assume that because you're giving people lots of great content that they will automatically come and buy from you. Now, if you know me, you know I give away a lot of free content, and I recently had my own knuckles slapped with love, some tough love, because I wasn't asking for a sale at all. Lots and lots of free content. And the way Miss Melanie Miller from Profit Lovers explained it to me is I was basically making people go through so many hoops. I thought I was providing lots of value, but I was actually taking away the opportunity for people to work more closely with you. And that's how I want you to think about the idea of asking for a sale, not begging for one, but you are presenting an opportunity to work more closely to you. And you should do that quite early in your emailing, okay? Don't forget about making an offer. So we've got know, like, and trust content. We've got authority builders. We've got the cash creators. Then we've got engagement content. And again, this should be stuff you're regularly doing, either in lots of emails or at least regularly through your flow. And that's as simple as asking questions. As soon as someone opens your email, that's good. They click a link, even better. They hit reply, fantastic. You actually exchange some emails as part of a conversation. Woo, that is top shelf whitelisting of emails. And what that basically means is the email delivery provider moves that email from a promotional tab to maybe a social tab to being a primary tab. They're the Gmail tabs, right? So as soon as someone clicks on a link or hits reply and answers a question, the email delivery service says, you're not promo. This is a friendship email. This is important. This is something that needs to go in the primary tab. That is always our goal, not only to get our emails opened, but to get some links clicked as quickly as possible and to actually start having a conversation with people. That is a very powerful way to build a connection. And so that's our fourth type, engagement content. Asking questions to get reply, providing links that can be clicked. And when you get replies, that is a great way to get some fuel for your content planning. So when people sign up to my daily draft email, I ask a question very early. What led you to sign up to a daily email? What's happening right now that meant that you want a little daily dose of copywriting and marketing? And the replies that I get not only help me get to know people, they start conversation, which whitelist my emails, but I take those responses and put them anonymously into a spreadsheet. And then when I'm looking at what do I need to create? What should my next webinar be on? What should I do free training on? Free training just like this? Then I'm looking at a big long list of frustrations. It is very powerful fodder for your ideas factory for emails, asking questions about where they're at, what's happening in their lives, what you have in common, what they want to learn, what led them to sign up. Really powerful questions. All right, so know, like, and trust, authority builders, the cash creators, engagement content, and the last one is edutainment, right? There is no reason that you cannot have a lot of fun in your emails. And so I know what we're talking about here is coming up with a content strategy, essentially. We're trying to also make things easier for ourselves. And in line with the idea of content that helps people know and like you, share some fun expressions that get people smiling, replying, enjoying a moment, and associating that moment with you. So, yes, we're all about the business, but you don't have to be serious all the time. And so, there's training that you can offer. You have a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge that you can share with your audience. And you can do it in a way that is fun and interesting if you just loosen up a little bit. So you absolutely have permission to have some fun in your marketing and put that into your weekly and monthly content sharing as well. If you're a follower of me, if you get any emails from me, if you're in for the love of copywriting, then you will know I love my gifts and they're a big part of my marketing. And so that is how we can not only express elements of our personality and our brand values, we can do it in a fun and interesting way that helps people prioritize our emails, because learning emails are fantastic. Interesting emails, love it. But also emails that just make me smile and have fun, they're the ones I want to as well, because I don't know about you, but my inbox is more than usually a hot mess. And so something that just makes me smile, take a second, that teaches me something interesting, that just makes me feel good, I like that content. And all these kind of things, while I'm talking about them as in terms of buckets of emails that you want to send, you can weave them all together. But the idea here is that you never have to go, what am I going to write about? And this is where the process comes into it. So I've given you 5 types of content, and we're talking about emails, but 5 types of emails that you can send. And here's the thing. People are joining your list all the time. People following you on social media all the time. They have not read your old posts. They have not seen every single one of your Facebook posts or your tweets, right? You can repeat content. And I'm going to say that again. You can repeat content. And so what I want you to do is I want you to make time to actually do some brainstorming. Now, I'm a big fan of the Pomodoro technique. So I speak in 25-minute blocks. You set a timer and you say, I'm going to brainstorm ideas for the next 25 minutes. And you take these 5 buckets and you write down as many things as possible. And so you go, right, email ideas for know, like, and trust. Remember, stories about you, stories about your work, stories about your customers, problems that people are having, myths that people buy into that makes you super mad. Mike Kim has this great line: what makes you mad? What breaks your heart? What problems are you solving, right? And you just write and write and write as many ideas as possible. Then you move on to authority builders, big wins, little wins, behind the scenes, interviews you've done, guest blogs you've done, programs that you're signed up to, right? More ideas. Then you have a list of those cash creators, lead magnets, products, services, low ticket offers, things like that you can actually promote. And then you brainstorm a whole bunch of engagement questions that you want to find out from people. And then write down some things that make you laugh and make you fun that you can weave in to those kind of training, problem solving, value bomb elements in. And it might be your style. You're like, I love Doctor Who. I love GIFs. I love featuring my dog Fenris. I talk about my kids a lot. Think about how you can weave those in to all your other content. And so what you have now is lots of ideas on a page. And this is that kind of mind mapping idea where you might say, you draw a big circle and you're like, problems, and you just write down as many as you can. And then you do another big circle and you're like, authority shares, and you can write down as many as you can. And then you're going to do another big circle, clients' stories, my stories, myths, right? And you just keep writing ideas and ideas and ideas. And then you put those ideas somewhere. Like in my Asana, I have blog ideas, one project. In another Asana folder, I have story ideas. So, excuse me. Okay, have a break. So in my Asana, I also collect story ideas. And what that means is when stuff happens in my life, I have a terrible memory. I have to kind of write it down. And so I have some things that I'm like, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use this, but I think it will be useful at some point. So don't rely on your brain storing all this kind of stuff. That's why I encourage you to set a timer and write it down on paper and then put those ideas into your storage or project manager or task. Yes, my 4-year-old. Excuse me, into your project manager or list manager or even your notebook of choice. And what that means is then when it comes to, I need to write an email, you've got stories that can help you provide context. You've got lots of ideas in each of those 5 categories that you can pull together. You can mix and match or just shine a spotlight on those 1 elements, right? And so it's in the preparation that you cut down how much work it is to write emails and how much time it takes to write your emails. So brainstorm ideas. I'm just looking at my notes here. Collect stories, even if you don't know how you're going to use them. And then the third tip I have for you as well is pay attention to the emails that you love. Be inspired by the emails that make you think, make you respond, make you smile, make you feel good, that you always open. Have a look at those emails, have a look at their subject lines, have a look at their content, have a look at the structure, and let those influence how you write emails as well. And I want to go back to something I said earlier. You will have new readers and new followers all the time. So you can keep repeating content because there's always new people coming in. And also the people who are on your list for a while will either not notice that you've repeated content or love reading the same stories again and again. I promise you. And what that means is you could actually legitimately build a really long email sequence full of ideas that you just pull from and add in, pull from and publish all the time, the same emails over and over again. Now, you don't want a 4-email sequence on repeat for the whole year, but don't be afraid to repeat emails. But then you can also add topical stuff that you're doing in right now. And what I mean is, if you want to promote a particular service, then you might choose specific problems and myths you want to bust that lead up to presenting an offer that people can take advantage of. And you run that whole build-up sequence on repeat every quarter or every half a year. And then in between those times, you sprinkle it with stories, anecdotes, authority builders, cash cows or cash creators, right? Building up that know, like, and trust all the time, and then making an offer. Know, like, and trust, making an offer. So when you pull back from your email strategy, you see the regularity of it, the repetition of it, and that's 100% okay. But you can also always pull from your ideas bucket and your stories bucket, as long as you're also regularly making an offer and helping people work with you, right? So that is how I think you can not only cut the time it takes you to write emails, but also make it a shitload easier as well. So I would love to know if you have any questions, I'm just going to hit up the comments that have been coming in. Tess says, thanks. That's just what I needed to refresh my thinking. And that is my pleasure, Tess, because sometimes what we do is we get so into the weeds of things that we just make things harder than they need to be. And so I've just given you a framework for like a whole year of email content, but you don't have to sit down and go, I'm going to plan out my whole year, because that sometimes turns it into a thing. And when it turns into a thing, that's just enough for us to put it off till next time. But maybe you're going to sit down and brainstorm as many ideas as you can. And I do this because I imagine like a really big piece of paper with those 5 buckets of emails, and you just blat lots of ideas. Maybe each month you go, all right, I'm just going to pluck some ideas and I'm going to plan out this month's emails. And again, you can do this for social posts, blog content, video content, Facebook Lives, but prep an idea and story bucket and then just pull from it. But don't forget to keep presenting offers. And I just caught myself then because I said I was going to say ask for the sale. But that's, I think, language that makes people really uncomfortable. Present an offer, present an opportunity to work more closely with you. That is what you need to be doing. You need to do it early and you need to do it regularly. And this is something I'm working on too. No one's got it down pat. But when we keep practicing these frameworks that make our work easier and faster, then we build up our muscles in terms of presenting offers that help people work with us. They're the logical next steps. We don't have to give people 6 months of content before we timidly ask, would you like to buy something from me? So have a think about that. Now, someone said, I love the idea of putting blog and story ideas in Asana. Yeah, I just have to store them. I have a Remarkable, because my desk was just all paper with scraps like on Post-it notes. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I think it's a great idea. So for me, I have to centralize it. And I just find Asana is a great way for me to keep things in front of me. All right, I'm just going to quickly check over to all the places where people are leaving comments. Here we go. Oh, thank you everyone for joining in and joining me for this chat. I love talking about this kind of stuff because it's about productivity and it's about workflow. And the whole point of this, the whole point of streamlining your workflow, streamlining your marketing, and in this case, streamlining how you create emails, is to make it easier, is to make it faster so you can work less, right? We're not doing this so we can write more emails. We're doing this so we can knock off. And I want to go back to something that I've said a few times already, but just in case you need to hear it again, the more work you put into the prep, the idea brainstorming and things like that, the easier your life is. Then you can say, oh yeah, that funny thing that happened when I was out walking the dog, I can actually link that to a common problem of my audience. So now I have the story to set the context, I have the problem of my audience, and then I'm going to make an offer. That is how you take these 5 email ideas, splice and dice them into original, relevant, valuable content that also brings money into your business. So I'm just going to go through these email ideas once again. Hang on, I've just seen this. Hello, Amanda. Love me a good workflow. Yes. You can replay or you can stay tuned for this final recap. Now, I'm going to be ending soon because it's my first grader's graduation day. And one of her requests, apart from donuts for breakfast, which was fine, was we're going to make a chocolate fudge brownie cake. And that's what we're doing. So streamlined workflow, lots of ideas you store so that you can work easier and faster in order to, say it with me, work less. That's what we're all about, okay? So the 5 emails that you can write on repeat are the know, like, and trust emails. Stories about your work, your life, your customers, problems and solutions, myths and busts, right? Humanize yourself. Help people have a connection with you and help them trust you. Authority builders, number 2, little wins, big wins, testimonials, interviews, rewards, all that kind of stuff. Programs you signed up for. Remember to relate it back to what's in it for your reader. The cash creators or the rainmakers, these are your lead magnets, your low ticket offers, your products and your services. Help people work with you. Give them opportunities. Give them offers. Do it early and do it regularly. The 4th one is engagement content, where you learn about your audience, ask questions, give them links to click. This will help you not only collate triggers for those problems, solutions, myths to be busted, all that kind of content, but you will also help your emails move from the promo tab to the primary tab. And the 5th one was edutainment, right? This is it could be a weekly roundup. It could be just something fun, something funny, something that helps people feel good and move forward. Don't forget, you're allowed to have fun, but think about what makes you smile, what makes you think, what makes you feel good. And I say try and infuse as much of that into your content as possible. And just this final, I'm going to say it again. You are allowed to repeat content. So if you do this kind of mind mapping, brainstorming activity, you can pull it all together for new emails, but you are allowed to reschedule content you have previously published. Let new audiences see it. Let new eyes read it. And if people have read it before, it doesn't matter. That is how you can quickly build out your emails so that you never have to worry again. What the hell am I going to write about? All right, so as I said, if you're watching this on replay, drop me a hashtag replay. I want to thank everyone who's tuned into this live. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. There's obviously more training. If you're in my free Facebook group for the love of copy, I do monthly training sessions like this. You can find all the replays on my YouTube channel, Copyright Matters TV. And if you head to my website page, copyrightmatters.com, have I been organized enough to actually have? No. There we go. No. Hang on. Can I do it? No. Oh, look at this. There's a banner. There's a banner. All right. That's about as good as it's going to get. Go to copyrightmatters.com and you will find lots and lots of resources and ways that we can work together. So I'm going to leave it right there. Go write some emails. Be awesome. You are awesome. And I'm going to go and make me some chocolate fudge cake. So have a great day, everyone.